All right, guys. So we are going to be looking at number 5, and then we're going to be looking at number 6. I figured that these two were a little bit different than the other ones, so I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to see what was going on. All right, so the number 5, you invested in 2 funds. Last year, the first fund paid a dividend of 9%, and the second a dividend of 3%. You received $900. This year, the first fund paid 10%, and the second only 1%, and you received a total of $860. How much money did you invest in each fund? Okay, so first off, this word dividend, it is like a interest rate. So it is what a company will pay you for owning their stock. So if it was $100, then the company would give you $9. So that would be a dividend. So it's this money that the company is giving you just for owning their stock. So let's first define our variables. So we have X, and if you would rather choose a different word or a different letter, you're more than welcome to do that. So our X can be the first fund. And then our Y will be our second fund. And remember, I gotta try to make sense of this. So I know that in my last year, I made $900. And I made that $900 through 9% of Fund 1, and I made that from 3% of Fund 2. And then this year, I'm just labeling it this year because we don't know the exact year, I made $860. And I did that for 10% of Fund 1, and I got only 1% from Fund 2. All right, so really what this is this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So I'm gonna do 9% times my X, because that's Fund 1, plus 3% times Fund 2 is equal to 900. And then let's set up our second equation. So that's going to be 1/10 or 10/100 X plus that 1%. That is going to equal to $860. So there's our two equations. Now I'm guessing that from here you could probably solve quite a bit of it. But I'll just show you how I would approach this. So I see that my Y values are pretty close because I can multiply 1 by 3 and get 3. Now if I want to continue to eliminate those Y's, I could multiply by a -3. Now if you wanted to eliminate the X's, you could certainly do that. I think that requires a couple extra steps that I don't really want to take right now. So let's distribute that -3 to each term within our equation. So that's going to be a -3/10 X plus a -3/100 Y is equal to a -2,580. Okay, so we know from Tuesday and Wednesday that we combine the equations. So our y's cancel because we have a positive and a negative 300s. They cancel as our zero pair. I combine my 900s and my negative 3/10. So you could pull out your calculator and find that it is 2100 x is equal to 900 minus 2580, which would give us 1680, and that would be negative. So we can divide by 2100s. X is equal to 8,000. Alrighty, so we have our X, now we just have to get our Y. So draw a little line here so I know where I'm working. So 900s times 8,000 plus 300s Y is equal to 900, and 8,000 multiplied by 900s is 720, plus 300s Y is equal to 900. Subtract out my 720, get 180. So Y is equal to 6,000. Okay, so our first fund has $8,000 and our second fund has 6,000. All right, now let's move on to number 7. And I wanted to pay specific attention to this one because it starts off saying things did not quite go as planned. So you're probably already thinking, all right, if things did not go according to plan, that means that something's a little bit different here. So you invested $20,000, part of it in a stock that paid 12% annual interest. 12% annual interest, so that's a rate, right? However, the rest of the money suffered a 5% loss. All right, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with that word loss. If the total annual income for both investments was $1,980, how much was invested at each rate? Okay, so we'll say our X is a stock at 12% interest rate, and our Y is going to be stock at 5% loss. All right, once again, let's kind of make a picture of what's happening here. So we got our $20,000. $20,000 is being made up of some number, some dollar amount, but we don't know what that dollar amount is. We're not told what percent went to stock 1 and what percent went to stock 2. That's what we have to figure out. And then the other amount that we had was $1,980. So when we do that, we have 12%, but we also have 5% loss. So when we're talking about a loss, we know that we have to do some subtraction there. All right, so if we have, let's take care of this first one. That's going to be X plus Y is equal to 20,000. And then we have 1200ths X minus 500ths Y is equal to 1,980. So I see that this is a pretty easy substitution equation. So I can subtract my y's, and I'm left with x is equal to negative y plus 20,000. And I can substitute my x, my expression here, in for x. So 1200 multiplied by negative y plus 20,000 minus 500 y is equal to 1,980. So we'll distribute. That's negative 1200 y plus 2400 minus 500 is equal to 1,980. I'll combine my y's, I'll combine like terms, and I'll subtract the 2400, get negative 420, and I'm left with y is equal to 24,000, sorry, 2,470. And let's say 59 cents. So we'll come over here and we'll substitute this number in for y, so x plus $2,470.59 is equal to 20,000. And I get $17,529.41. All right, those are our two funds. So if you have any other questions about 1 through 7, feel free to give me a shout. Remember, you don't have to do 8 or 9 because we didn't get to those in class today. Alrighty, good luck.